Welcome everyone. Welcome back to my channel. All the new people that's seeing this for the first time or returning viewers. I believe that today's message that God placed in my heart is gonna be a good one. So the title of this video is Right on Time. It won't be long. So if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes on my iPad. Title altogether was on repeat last year. I didn't know what was happening last year, but I get discuss more about it in the video. So for many of us, we've been in this waiting period. For those that prayed, fasted, did what God told them to do last, is in this waiting period. It may seem hard now because we keep doing all this stuff, not a routine, but we keep seeking God, and it's still like, God, okay, we did all of this. We changed like our perspective, being more generous, but still like nothing's happening. I found that in Galatians 6:9 said, well, not said, but reads, so let's not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't give up. The main part will be at the right time. So we probably, well, for me, I'm just speaking on me. For me, I was already trying to like go ahead of God's timing. Either if it's okay, if God gave me this vision on one thing and I can see it coming, like the pieces like coming together, but it's not God's timing. God is focused on what I'm doing here, and like instead of going like what's down the road, like a month down the road, years down the road, God is like wanting me to focus on this main thing. I don't know why, but it was mostly needed for obedience, so trying to build my character up and everything. So let's go into a little backstory. So I was living this out in 2022. Basically, I was working with a government job for 2 years. By February, I quit that job. And here's the thing, I'm like, how? In my mind, I know what was going on. So how can I come from a job, no job, I didn't have a backup plan, only finances I had in my account were my last paycheck, my tax return, and whatever I have in savings. So that's all I had. But I was looking at different YouTube videos for encouragement about like, oh, God told me to quit my job. Then the person in those videos, like probably weeks later, they got a job and what God called them to do. But for me, I'm still worried on, so okay, God, I quit. I don't have a backup plan. My family think I'm crazy. Like, why would you leave this job and you don't have nothing like stored up? So I'm like, I'm just gonna focus on what God called me to do. The whole time was like 3-month period with no job. I was keep getting hit from the people that were closest to me. So my family said, oh, that wasn't of God. Why would God gonna call you to do this? Then I started believing him. I'm like, oh, I probably was like wrong about this. I didn't have the like discernment and everything, but God reminded me of characters in the Bible. So at first we have Noah. If you know the story, Noah was a man of God. He heard from God. God was going to call rain in the area and told Noah to build an ark. People around him didn't know why he was building an ark because they never saw rain before. So this was the first time rain was ever presented in the Bible. So over 100 years, Noah kept building the ark. He told his family that first day he's probably like iffy about the whole thing, but they helped Noah out. But the others around them, like in the city, they didn't believe until the day when the miracle or the flood came. It was too late for the other people. Noah already had the 2 by 2, like 1 male, 1 female animals, the clean and unclean animals on the ark. So when the flood came, it was too late. They was right knocking on the ark, said, "Let me in," but Noah said, "Y'all should have listened." It's almost like it's only crazy until it happens. The next example would be of Abraham. This one stood out. I know I posted in a recent video. The story of Abraham. First, before Abraham, he was called Abram. God called him out to do X, Y, and Z, which was to get out of his comfort zone, out his familiar area, go into an unknown territory to do what God called him to be. And we have Moses, Joseph, not Jesus' father, but the Joseph that had the coat of many colors, Gideon, and the list goes on. God called each and every one of us for such a time as this. He called us out. He called the chosen one out for a main reason. It is our job to continually seek Him and find that reason out. And this concludes part 1. If you want to see part 2, continue watching.